How's it going, guys? A couple people wanted me to do a Frankenmeshing tutorial, so here we are. We're going to start off simple by adding bangs onto an existing hair. So the first thing you want to do is install and open Sims 4 Studio. Then we're going to select Create 3D Mesh, hit Cast, and then filter to find the hair to use as a base. I'm going to use this hair from Island Living. So once you find that, just shift click to select all of the colors, hit next, call it whatever you want, and then it'll save as a new package. Once that loads, go into the mesh tab and then export the mesh as a Blender file. I also like to choose lighter colors to export in so that the texture is easier to see. And then you're going to do the same thing for the mesh that you want to take a piece from. In our case, bangs, which I'm going to take from this ponytail from Get Famous. So once again, call it whatever you want, save it, and then export the mesh and open it in Blender. So every hair has 3 meshes. One is the actual mesh and the other 2 are hat chops. Each mesh also has a corresponding cut number. The full mesh has a cut number of 0002. Hats that sit on a slant have a cut number of 0001, and hats that sit horizontally have a cut number of 0000. So the first thing we want to do is remove these bangs from this mesh. So to do that, make sure you have the mesh selected and then go into edit mode, and using L on your keyboard, select the pieces you want to keep. And then you can press this little icon here to see vertices through your mesh, and then select those so you don't miss anything. So once you have everything selected, hit P, selection, and that'll separate it from the other mesh. So hit save and then open the Blender file of the hair that you want to add the bangs to. Then go into File, Append, find the bangs file, go into Object, then find the mesh, and append that. So it looks okay. There's a couple areas we could probably fix to make it look better. I'm just deleting these unnecessary files. Make sure you have the bangs layer selected. I'm going to go into edit mode and just delete some of these pieces that I think aren't really needed. Now I'm just resizing and moving the mesh a little to fit the hair better. So in order to fix some of the clipping and gaps in the mesh, I'm going to turn on proportional editing by hitting O, selecting a vertex around the area I want to move, hitting G, and then scrolling up on my mouse wheel to decrease the brush size, and then G again to freely move the area and close the gap. So I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to join the bangs and the base mesh together by going into object mode, selecting the bangs layer and the mesh layer, going back to the model, selecting the entire mesh, and then Control J to join. So we're not done yet. Now we have to UV map. So in order to do that, we are going to go into image, find the texture of the base hair, and then unpack that file, and then save it as a PNG. Then find the UV map that the bangs are currently taking, unpack that file, and then replace the image with the texture that we just saved. So as you can see, the texture on the bangs doesn't look the greatest. So to fix this, we're going to go into edit mode. We are going to select the pieces of the bangs, and then find the diffuse map here and select these pieces to move them to a better area on the texture map. So just press G to move, and then I'm pressing S to resize. So that's already looking a little bit better. So just do that with the rest of the pieces here. Alright, so that looks a lot better now. There's probably a couple areas I would go back and fix, but for the purposes of this tutorial, I think that's good enough. So we're just going to save that and then import it back into Sims 4 Studio. And aside from doing hat chops and adding in LODs, which I can make another video on, that's pretty much it. If you wanted to make this base game compatible, just export all the colors, the diffuse map, the specular map, the butt map from this package, then clone any base game hair through Sims 4 Studio, import the Blender file of your mesh into that file, make sure that the cut numbers for each corresponding mesh match up in Blender. Then you're just going to import all of the textures, hit save, and that would be it. Yeah, so that's how you make a hair. It's not that hard. I'm sorry if I wasn't that great at explaining stuff and for being so awkward, but yeah, that's it. So see ya.